Hey guys, and welcome to the next video in the beginners series. We are now well into January, and hopefully you've got yourself sorted, you have a goal, you've started getting familiar with the gym, and now it comes down to the question of equipment. What do you need depending on the stage you are at? Now, a lot of people jump the gun on this, and certain things are taboo areas, and I'm going to cut all the crap out of it and tell you what you really should have depending on where you are on your weightlifting progression. Okay, so let's start with beginner. 3 things you need. That's it. A stopwatch, not your phone. A phone will distract you. If you've been given a program, if you haven't got one yet, get one. Come and see me or any of the other trainers that are near you and get a plan because it helps. Don't use your phone, okay? If your plan is on your phone, print it off, carry it with you. Get a stopwatch. This watch was £13 on Amazon, all right? It does exactly what it needs to do and it keeps you focused. If you start scrolling on your phone and have a timer on your phone, it's just a distraction, and right now you can't afford that. You're not in a point where you can judge rest periods just by feeling them out and knowing what you want to do. They've probably been set in your plan to give you strict instructions of what to do. Please go get a stopwatch and use it. Don't use your phone, okay? It's a big pitfall that people fall into. Second, a water bottle. You think I wouldn't have to tell people this, but you would be surprised how many people forget to bring a water bottle. It really messes up your focus having to wander to the drinks fountain every 2 seconds because you haven't got a water bottle, and it should be at least 750 mils to a litre to last you the duration of the workout. Some workouts may be more water dependent, so you may need more, but at least if it holds at least 750 mils, it should get you through at least a workout. And finally, gloves as and when you need them. Now, if you've never lifted weights before and you don't have a manual job, your hands are going to get torn up pretty quickly, okay? People will make fun of you, or there's the big going thing that, you know, men don't wear gloves. Sod it, in the beginning, you might have to wear them, okay? Or if it's particularly cold in your gym and the fact that the bar's cold is ruining your grip, get some gloves on. You want them as thin as possible. Rugby stick mitts are pretty damn good because they give you really good feedback on the bar, and there are a very wide range now of lifting gloves that you can use. Use them for when the calluses on your hands start to rip. Obviously, we don't want them to actually rip because that then ruins the rest of your day, but don't wear them all the time. We need to toughen your hands up so that they can go through the rigors of the workout. Okay, so that's your beginner phase, right? Ideally, that shouldn't set you back probably any more than about 20 to 25 pounds. Okay, so you're not breaking the bank, but don't go any further than this if you've just started in the gym. There is no point buying anything else. You do not need it. Okay, as we progress into the intermediate phases, you'll need to add a few little more things. A shaker bottle for the introduction of supplements. I'm going to do a supplement video, which you will find in the library, about what supplements actually are and when you should be integrating them, if at all. Okay, but a shaker bottle will do. Shaker bottles only hold usually around 500 mils. They are not generally ideal to take around the gym with you. They don't hold enough liquid. Okay, also, the last thing you want is your foul tasting pre-workout that you've fudged up because you bought the wrong flavour sitting in the back of your head every time you take a swig in your workout. It's distracting, right? We don't want it. And joint sleeves that are of neoprene material. We don't want elastic tension, i.e. single or double ply sleeves yet. It's just to keep your joints warm, give them a little bit of support as you progress through your workouts, because ideally in these stages here, what we're learning is the basis of strength, the technique needed to perform these movements well. We don't really want to start adding all this extra stuff yet until you've learned the basics, okay? In this area, this intermediate area is where people go really, really wrong. All the gear, no idea can really apply in the gym, because if you've bought all of this stuff but neglected the first 2 stages, these are too advanced, okay? These are what are going to get in the way. We need to master this first, get your technique down, make sure you're confident and comfortable lifting weights before you start putting any kind of equipment on that is going to assist in those movements. Because if you don't know what those movements are, there is no point assisting something that is wrong. Okay, so neoprene joint sleeves that offer no elastic assistance. Just keep the joints warm, because as you get progressive, your workouts may last a little bit longer and fatigue may set in. So they're a good thing to have. Also, if it involves a lot of kneeling down and getting up, they just protect your knees a little bit. Finally, on the advanced stage. Now, this is in the nicest possible way if you are moving into more advanced programming, heavier lifting, and maybe even into competitive areas, okay? When you're lifting a certain degree of weight, then it starts looking into needing these kind of things, because ideally you should really be using these as your ace in the whole last resort, because you should be relying on using the earlier stage stuff really. So, lifting straps for things like deadlifts, heavy lat pull downs, and maybe prolonged bouts of rowing where your grip may be a limiting factor. Obviously, we want to be doing programming for improving grip strength, but in some cases, your grip's going to go no matter what, and you've still got more power in the lower extremities, which are going to give you those lifts. Lifting straps are now where you'd want to add these in. You don't want to add these too early, because then you're not going to train your grip to know exactly where you need to work on it. Weightlifting belts. This is the biggest one people get wrong. A weightlifting belt is designed to assist you in the weakest part of your core. So for myself, I wear my belt actually quite high, because I know that here's where I need the support. Some people wear it lower. What you don't want to be doing is wearing the belt around the bottom, across the back of your pelvis, where most people think that you should wear it because it has the word belt in it, and you're not offering yourself any core support. These aren't actually to stop you from hurting your back. Your technique should stop you from hurting your back. If you are hurt, if your back feels painful after lifting, and I don't mean it feels strained or used after lifting, your technique is wrong. It's not because you need a belt. You should be able to brace your core enough to do that movement safely. What this belt does is give you like an extra band of core muscles to press against, like putting a metal band around a barrel to give you that pressure to push against, okay, and give yourself some more intra-abdominal pressure, which will be on a different video to explain what that is. So most people make the mistake of getting lifting straps and weight belts really early in the game, and they haven't taught themselves the grip strength or core stability required to make these lifts. So you want to hold back on these until your lifts get much heavier. I personally don't even use mine during my normal lifting till much heavier down the line. And for my clients, it's the same. I'd rather they learn how to do the movement first and we introduce a belt later on when they need it, rather than put it on straight away, because then you're not relying on yourself. Shoes, i.e. deadlift or squat shoes. Deadlift shoes aren't necessarily needed unless you're competing, because a simple flat pair of shoes will do. But squat shoes can allow you the extra heel elevation, which will give you ankle flexibility to get into a lower portion of the squat. Now, if you cannot squat properly just using your own body, there is no point buying a squat shoe. Okay? If you have a squat shoe, you do not need to elevate your heels with plates. If we find that you need to create a perfect or better technique for the squat, then we can advise squat shoes. But for the most part, learning how to do the squat properly first would be better than buying the shoes. Also, as a little thing, don't use squat shoes for deadlifting. It will put you in a bit of a too high over the bar and it will ruin the lift. Finally, joint sleeves that are either single or double ply. Now, what this means is a neoprene sleeve offers no elastic feedback. A single ply offers a little bit, and a double ply offers a lot. Okay, knee wraps do the same thing as well. So you will find that when you start using the single ply, you get a little bit of spring at the bottom of the lift. So for instance, if you're using them on your knees for squats, normally you'd have to use your own power up and down, or maybe a bit of momentum. But what these single or double ply knee sleeves do is contract at the bottom as you fold them, and they give a little bit of spring to give the joint just enough sometimes to bounce out of the hole. Again, these are used for either injury prevention and rehabilitation. Do not rely on them if you have an injury. Please get them checked out first. I cannot stress that enough. If it's something that is recurring and just needs a bit of extra compression, then that's absolutely fine. But if you have an injury, don't mask it with a joint sleeve and keep going. Go get it checked out by a movement specialist first. Or if you're going for a maximal lift and feel that you need as much support around the joint as possible. I have, my joints are pretty worn out from doing charity events and other things, so I do lift with these on now simply because I know that my joints will feel better after using them. It's nothing to do with strength, it is a matter of self-preservation on the joints, but I have gone through the preliminary stages. I've seen movement specialists, I work in rehab myself, so I know exactly what I'm doing when I put these on. What I don't want you guys to do is go out and buy these because you've got a bum knee, rather than learning how to move around, rehabilitate the joint and use it properly, and try and mask your way through it with these. The one thing I didn't put on here is chalk, simply because some gyms don't allow for it. It is messy, it does get everywhere, it gets all over the bars. If your gym allows for it, chalk would be something to bring in probably here really, because at this point it is because your grip's slipping or you're getting a bit sweaty, and go from there. Gym towels are another one to add on to the list, i.e. as a beginner. Some gyms will have wipe down stations, some will provide towels if you're lucky enough to use a health club, but it is always worth bringing your own towel because, you know, you're going to get sweaty and horrible. Also to wipe your hands down and anything else. So there is your list. There's your screenshot. Start on the beginner point. If you don't have a stopwatch, water bottle and gloves, there is no point buying anything else because you kind of need these. Even gloves, maybe you don't need to if you're used to working with your hands, but you definitely need a stopwatch and you definitely need a water bottle. Once you've got to the point where you can start advancing and supplementation is coming in, get yourself a separate shaker bottle to your water bottle, and then some joint sleeves if you feel like your movements are quite kinesthetic and they involve you getting on your knees and getting up, or you just feel like you need them a little bit supported with some extra heat, that's fine. And then as you move into the more advanced stages, lifting straps, weightlifting belts, shoes, and joint sleeves of a double or single ply variety will where they need to be. Any questions, please get hold of me and I'll speak to you soon.